Congress party is leading at the moment. Let's see how his son Arjun is doing at the moment. He, of course, is contesting from Rania constituency. He, of course, maybe some amount of joy there for the family because he seems to be doing well. He's leading at the moment. But your sense, Ramesh, of regional parties, because Chetan's sense earlier was that the decimation or the bad performance, so to say, of JGP, INLD, regional parties like that may have benefited the BJP in these assembly elections.
Well, definitely, I would say this is, sunset for INLD, which has been losing elections since 2004. They have been, out of power, and their, political graph has been on the decline. This JJP, which emerged out of, the parent party of Indian National Lok Dal, which was founded by Chaudhry Devi Lal, they did, flicker and did reasonably well in the last election, winning, 9, 10 seats, and they were able to, form a coalition government with the BJP. But this time, we are seeing that, a complete meltdown of, INLD and its subsidiary, political outfit of JJP led by Dushyant Chautala. So what is clear is that Haryana politics seems to have become bipolar, and BJP, which was a fringe player before 2014, is now, one of the major players, rather than one of the two players in Haryana election. So it's a bipolar election, in a different sense that, unlike, times we have seen before 2004, when INLD used to be the major player vis-a-vis Congress and BJP was on the fringes. Now, the wheel of fortune has turned in favor of BJP, and it is, a very well established second pole in Haryana politics, and ILD, JJP have, I would say, just kind of disappeared from the scene.
What about the BJP and its leadership in Haryana? Because some of the experts, Ramesh, who were speaking with us earlier before this, have the sense that as far as the leadership and the goings on within Haryana BJP are concerned, it is more centralized. It is more Delhi centric. There aren't many leaders per se within Haryana BJP that you could say are like prominent leaders, those who hold sway over people, are popular. That leadership per se hasn't been built. While the party, of course, held sway over Haryana for 10 years and hopes it would be a third consecutive term in Haryana for the party, the leadership per se hasn't been built.
Well, if you remember, Manohar Lal Khattar, came from nowhere in 2014. He was
Mhm.
RSS Patarak, and suddenly he was thrust into limelight. And I would say he has been a pretty successful chief minister. But
Then
when
why was
they
he changed? Why was he changed? If he was successful, why would the BJP change the chief minister?
You see, successful in the sense that he was able to make a break from the previous track record, of corruption, cash and carry, perception about previous governments, and he, I think then at the end of two terms he was facing anti-incumbency. At the same time, BJP had this calculation that if they bring about this change of guard and put Naib Singh Saini, who is an OBC at the helm of
Hmm.
Haryana, it will
Hmm.
also, help them gain ground among OBCs. So basically, BJP wanted to dodge anti-incumbency by change of guard. Secondly, expand its footprint among the OBC, and I think it has worked. If I go by the initial results, and BJP, mind you, also changed, many of its sitting MLAs, just to again live down that anti-incumbency factor. And on the whole, my sense as of now is brand Modi still sells in Haryana. It still has traction in Haryana.
Okay, but the Lok Sabha results would have made you believe that the Congress still had a chance as far as these assembly elections are concerned from sweeping the Lok Sabha in the last elections in 2019 to 2024 when it was half and half for the BJP and the Congress. Where did you how, do you think the Congress, would you also say, as Mr. Subramaniam has been saying, that it has given away this election. Obviously, we're not calling the results as of yet. We don't know if there will be another switch, another sort of switching of positions between the two parties. But did the Congress just throw it away?
Well, I think Congress was overconfident, and they thought
Hmm.
that consolidation of Jat vote bank and the Dalit factor, which had helped them in the Lok Sabha election, would help them emerge victorious in this election. That hasn't happened. They haven't able to kind of crack that Punjabi vote piece. It looks like that the what we call the highway voter of Haryana. The urban
Hmm.
Punjabi Banya Brahman Kshatri voters. They seem to be still standing behind BJP. So I think the Congress's calculations have gone haywire with regard to its vote bank kind of calculation. And BJP has also succeeded in denting the Congress's vote bank among the Jats and also among the OBCs and Dalits.
Okay, okay. As far as Haryana numbers are concerned, Mr. Subramaniam and Ramesh Vinayak, I'll just request you to be with us. Let me just quickly again update our viewers with the numbers that we're looking at right now. Remember, these are just leads, trends. Their wins are yet to be declared. The Election Commission is still the official website where you can go and have a look at the numbers as they authentically stand at the moment with what we're picking up from various sources who are at these counting centers. Haryana, on the Hindustan Times website, if you look at it, the numbers show that it is 49 to the Bharatiya Janata Party and 33 for the Congress at the moment. Remember, a 90-member legislative assembly, the halfway mark is 46. On the ABP website, it says that BJP stands at 50, the Congress at 35 at the moment, trailing 15 seats behind the BJP. The Congress is at the moment. India Today is saying that the Congress stands at 37, BJP at 45. So the lead is the gap seems to be widening, but again, it's about how many votes have been counted, where these votes are being counted at the moment. Is it the town area, the city area, the rural parts? All of that has to be taken into account. So too early to call at the moment, but this definitely has come as a surprise for many who had already called this election even before the first vote was counted this morning. What News 18 will tell you is that BJP stands at 49 at the moment, and the Congress at 34. Independents stand at 4 at the moment. That is where Haryana is headed. And we will, of course, try and get more authentic numbers as the wins start to get confirmed. But remember, that comes after several rounds of counting that takes place in these counting centers. Kishore Subramaniam continues to be with us at the moment. Would you say that the Congress, because we've been talking about all the issues that were served on a platter by the BJP to the Congress party. In a way, the Congress simply banked on the chart vote bank and thought everything else will just play itself out. It was complacent, it was lazy going into this election.
Yeah, two things. See, if you look at the Congress high command narrative on the entire election, there has been only one single point on which they are running the whole election campaign, whether it is Haryana, whether it is national election. Jati, consensus, OBC, Dalit, reservation. That's the single plank on which Congress believes they can actually make the voter blind and vote. They don't talk about improvement, infrastructure, policies, framework. They are clear. Whether it is Karnataka, whether it is Himachal, wherever you see Congress, there is a culture of freebie, there is a culture of caste, there is a culture of division, of reservation, and this is the old school political thought. I think time has come that this narrative will big time fail. And they have to fail in a few states to understand that this narrative doesn't work. And at that time, if you switch this narrative to employment, growth, infrastructure, GDP, economics, then you will have a difficult path transitioning. As far as Congress in Haryana is concerned, if these trends continue, because now these seems to be strong trends, we are not, mind you, talking for 5 or 10 minutes, close to 45 minutes to 1 hour, these trends are holding up. And remember, in politics, the Trends, when they start holding up, it's a different thing. You should also
Right.
remember one thing, that the anti-incumbency, which is typically called as the voters fatigue,
Hmm.
typically happens after 10 years. And after 10 years, if BJP is able to bring it back from being a fringe party before 2014 to a mainstream leading contender, I think the Modi factor is not dead. But believe me, today, if this election goes the BJP way, by 2:33 p.m., you will have the entire high command of Congress calling for EVM. This is going to happen because they have no other excuse in this election apart from calling the EVM hack. And even in J&K, they might come up and say that the LJ's 5 free seats of MLAs and nomination has spoiled the party. You can cry wolf as long till the cows come home. But the fact of the matter is that your narrative on only reservation, Jat, Dalit, OBC, and trying to constantly defame Modi like the way they did in 2019 Chaukidar Chor Hai, this doesn't work. You will have to talk pro people and policies that actually economically benefit at the ground level rather than keeping abusing your opposition.
Okay, okay. We'll try and get Ramesh Vinayak back as well. We seem to have lost his connection. But yes, this is something that Kishore Subramaniam seems to be saying is that, as far as the caste-based politics that the Congress had been playing for a long time, tried to play in these assembly elections, clearly it seems that the people of Haryana want to break out of it. The BJP has been experimenting with this since 2014 when they defeated the incumbent Bhupinder Hooda government then and came to power, and Manohar Lal Khattar was made the chief minister. And then, of course, the interesting choice of Nav Singh Saini as well, an OBC leader, as the chief minister to take over from Manohar Lal Khattar earlier this year. The BJP wants to break the dominance of the Jat community, which is said to sort of call the shots as far as Haryana politics is concerned. Now, it may be working to some extent because it seems like there are other communities which have felt that they have been neglected at the cost of this Jat politics that seems to be played by the Congress party. Who will take the blame for this if the trends hold? As Kishore Subramaniam rightly pointed out, this is not 5-10 minutes we're talking about. The trends have been holding for a good hour now. And it seems that the BJP has a very comfortable lead, and a lot of people by the end of this day, if this is what the end result is going to be, are going to have egg on their faces because we've all called it wrong. We've all been party to predicting something which has been completely turned on its head. And it's clearly, it would then be all kudos to the BJP and its election management. Again, not calling it yet. Let's find out what goes down there. Bhupinder Hooda still seems to be very, very confident that eventually, by the end of the day, he will be in the chief minister's chair. He's saying that the Congress will still form government. But if we look at the numbers right now, that doesn't seem likely. There are surprises galore, especially in various constituencies and various seats as well. Let's just quickly again look at certain of those important seats. Ladwa was considered to be a very tough seat for the incumbent Chief Minister Nab Singh Saini. He's leading in that seat at the moment as I look right now. Then, of course, comes Bhupinder Hooda's seat that we're talking about. He, of course, continues to be an old war horse as far as Haryana politics is concerned. He is comfortably leading in Gadi Sampla Kiloi as well. Let's look at some of the other seats as well. Earlier, we did see that Aditya Surjewala was trailing from Kaithal. Let's see what is the current situation in Kaithal. Yes, he is trailing. Leela Ram of the Bharatiya Janata Party continues to be in pole position in Kaithal. Let's take that Kaithal question to Ramesh Vinayak, who's back with us at the moment. Leela Ram, Ramesh, is leading Bharatiya Janata Party's Leela Ram, and Aditya Surjewala is trailing in Kaithal.
Well, I'm not surprised, to be very honest. Kaithal, no doubt, is part of that, Jat belt. But Leela Ram is an old player, and he's very well established there. While Surjewala's son is the Greenhorn, he is contesting his first election from that place. And so, it looks that, he hasn't been able to kind of cashing on the legacy of his father and grandfather, Shamsher Singh Surjewala, who was a very, prominent politician from that area and was also, one of the tall Jat leaders from, Haryana. So apparently, greenhorns of Congress, don't seem to be doing too well as per the initial trends.
Right. Okay, let's listen in to another chief ministerial hopeful from the Congress party, one of their senior leaders and senior prominent Dalit figures, Kumari Selja. Let's listen in.
And there are rounds which are counted, and you will see as the day develops, as counting goes on and progresses, you will see that Congress party will form the government and we will get 60 plus. Rest assured.
अभी मैम जिस तरह से आगे पीछे चल रहा है, पहले कांग्रेस आगे थी, फिर 50-50 हुआ, क्या लगता है कि क्या ये अर्ली ट्रेंड्स है अभी जाके कुछ, क्योंकि आप जगह जगह घूमे हुए हैं?
देखो, इट इज टू अर्ली, राउंड्स होते हैं, हमको मालूम होता है कि कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीजें चलती हैं, तो इसको आप इतना ज्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन, ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है, लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम, कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी।
10 बज रहा है मैम, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे,
कम से कम।
उम्मीद नहीं, विश्वास है। No, the trends are, and there are rounds which are counted, and you will see as the day develops, as counting goes on and progresses, you will see that Congress party will form the government and we will get 60 plus. Rest assured.
अभी मैम जिस तरह से आगे पीछे चल रहा है, पहले कांग्रेस आगे थी, फिर 50-50 हुआ, क्या लगता है कि क्या ये अर्ली ट्रेंड्स है अभी जाके कुछ, क्योंकि आप जगह जगह घूमे हुए हैं?
देखो, इट इज टू अर्ली, राउंड्स होते हैं, हमको मालूम होता है कि कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीजें चलती हैं, तो इसको आप इतना ज्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन, ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है, लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम, कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी।
10 बज रहा है मैम, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे,
कम से
कम। उम्मीद नहीं, विश्वास है। You know, the trends are, and there are rounds which are counted, and you will see as the day develops, as counting goes on and progresses, you will see that Congress party will form the government and we will get 60 plus. Rest assured.
अभी मैम जिस तरह से आगे पीछे चल रहा है, पहले कांग्रेस आगे थी, फिर 50-50 हुआ, क्या लगता है कि क्या ये अर्ली ट्रेंड्स है अभी जाके कुछ, क्योंकि आप जगह जगह घूमे हुए हैं?
देखो, इट इज टू अर्ली, राउंड्स होते हैं, हमको मालूम होता है कि कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीजें चलती हैं, तो इसको आप इतना ज्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन, ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है, लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम, कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी।
10 बज रहा है मैम, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे,
कम से
कम। उम्मीद नहीं, विश्वास है।
Umeed nahi Vishwas hai. Kumari Shelja, they're still expressing confidence that the Congress will form government, that it will cross the 60 mark. But at the moment, if you look at the numbers, they tell a different story altogether. The picture shows that the BJP is leading in Haryana right now, and the Congress is trailing. Keval Dhingra is now joining us. He's been extremely close to the former Chief Minister of the state, Bhupinder Hooda. केवल जी, आप ये बताइए कि ट्रेंड्स तो आप ये कह रहे हैं कि सबने प्रिडिक्ट किया था कि कांग्रेस जो है वो जीत कर निकल जाएगी हरियाणा में, पर इस वक्त जो हम देख रहे हैं कि ट्रेंड्स पूरी तरह से उलट गए हैं। सुबह हम देख रहे थे कि कांग्रेस लीड कर रही है, अब जो दिखाई दे रहा है कि बीजेपी पोल पोजीशन में है।
नहीं, देखिए, अभी भी चेंजेस आने की पूरी उम्मीद है, और अभी क्योंकि क्लोज फाइट थी, और आपने भी ट्रेंड देखा होगा कि जो एग्जिट पोल भी दिखा रहा था उसमें करीबन 47, 49, 50 ऐसे सीट कांग्रेस की दिखा रहे थे, और 55 भी कई जगह पे दिखा रहे थे। ये ट्रेंड को चेंज होता है, आगे भी जाता है, पीछे भी जाता है, क्योंकि क्लोज फाइट होती है। तो इसके अंदर आपको अभी और 3-4 राउंड और आएंगे तो आपको फिर क्लैरिटी आएगी, और इसमें मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जिस समय आपको मूवमेंट आएगी और फिर आपको चेंजेस दोबारा से नजर आएंगी। तो अभी अभी आप देखिए, लेकिन मैं आपको एक चीज जरूर कहना चाहता हूँ कि जो स्थितियां रही, हुड्डा साहब का कार्यकाल भी चला और बीजेपी का कार्यकाल भी चला, और हुड्डा साहब के कार्यकाल में प्रगति हुई, और बीजेपी के कार्यकाल के अंदर जो लोग, जनता थी, उनको प्रताड़ित महसूस करने का काम बीजेपी ने करवाया था, उसका ट्रेंड का भी रिजल्ट भी आएगा।
तो आप मानते हैं कि ये जो ट्रेंड्स हैं ये भी उलट जाएँगे पूरी तरह से? आप क्या मानते हैं? कुमारी शैलजा का कहना है कि 60 के ऊपर जाएगी कांग्रेस। आप कितना नंबर दे रहे हैं कांग्रेस को इस वक़्त?
देखिए, मैं नंबर नहीं देता, हम बहुमत से सरकार बनाएंगे, ये मेरा
हुँ।
नंबर है। और मैं आपको ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि जो ट्रेंड एग्जिट पोल में दिख रहा था, वही आपको अभी भी दिखेगा।
पर ये जो ट्रेंड्स हैं ना जिनकी हम बात कर रहे हैं इस वक़्त, हम काफ़ी देर से इसको मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं और ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये ट्रेंड्स होल्ड कर रहे हैं कि बीजेपी लगातार आगे बढ़ती जा रही है, कांग्रेस पीछे होती जा रही है।
नहीं, वो देखिए, जहाँ पे कुछ लोग फाइट में होते हैं, कुछ लोग 500 से आगे, कुछ लोग 1000 से पीछे, कुछ लोग 600 से आगे, कुछ लोग 2000 से पीछे, तो ये ट्रेंड में चेंजेस आ जाती है। जब दूसरा राउंड खुलता है तो उसमें आगे चेंजेस हो जाती है, आगे वाला पीछे चले जाता है, पीछे वाला आगे चले जाता है। लेकिन एंड रिजल्ट जब आप देखेंगे तो आपको ये नजर आएगा कि कांग्रेस पार्टी आगे चली गई और बीजेपी फिर पीछे चली गई।
और सीएम कौन होंगे अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी यकीनन जीत जाती है हरियाणा इलेक्शन जैसा कि आप प्रेडिक्ट कर रहे हैं इस वक़्त, सीएम कौन बनेंगे?
देखिए, जो एमएलए जीत करके आएंगे, वो अपना नेता चुनेंगे और हाईकमान के साथ डिसाइड होगा, हाईकमान उसके ऊपर फैसला करेगा।
ठीक है। केवल ढींगरा जी, शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। दैट वाज़ केवल ढींगरा हू हैज़ बीन मीडिया एडवाइज़र to the former Chief Minister of the state of Haryana, Bhupinder Hooda, who of course continues to be hopeful. He will hope that the BJP is ousted from power in Haryana and he can make a comeback as the Chief Minister of Haryana in 2024. Remember, he was Chief Minister between 2005 and 2014 when the BJP defeated his government. Now, as far as the numbers concerned, of course, you heard from Congress leaders, you heard from Kumari Shelja, you heard from Keval Jhingra, who, of course, has been associated with Bhupinder Hooda. They are expressing confidence that the Congress will emerge victorious when the final vote is counted. But currently, the numbers are telling you a completely different story. Let's quickly just take you through the J&K numbers as well, because we've, of course, been focused on Haryana. It's turning out to be such a cliffhanger. But quickly, just to take you through the J&K numbers as well, because remember, over there, it appears it's much more clearer where things stand at the moment as far as the positions of the political parties are concerned. On the Hindustan Times website, you can just log on to check with both the states in terms of their numbers, constituencies, individual constituencies. If you want to find out, you can always key in the name of the constituency in our constituency tracker, and you would find out who's in pole position there, who's trailing, who's leading. Now, Jammu and Kashmir wins as far as Jammu and Kashmir are concerned. Remember, we've not confirmed any of that because several rounds of counting are to happen yet. But leads say 47 for the National Conference Congress Alliance and 28 for the BJP, 4 for the PDP, and 11 for the others. On ABP, it says that it's going to be 47 for the National Conference Congress Alliance and 28 for the BJP, 4 for the PDP, 11 for the others, 47, just one above the majority mark. 46 currently is the majority mark. India Today says that the National Conference Congress Alliance stands at 48, just two above the majority mark. PDP at 4, BJP at 28, and AIP, which is the Indian Russians party, stands at 1 and others 9. So again, independents are doing fairly well. The PDP hopes it will emerge as a kingmaker. Maybe the National Conference and the Congress will need its support because remember, right now it's just a little above the majority mark. Only if those trends hold will it be comfortably able to form a majority government. As far as News 18 is concerned, it says for Jammu and Kashmir, NC at 40, and as far as the Congress is concerned, it stands at 8. So 48 for that alliance and 27 for the BJP independents at 7. So here it appears that as the exit polls had predicted that the National Conference Congress alliance will have a slim majority in the Legislative Assembly. it seems to be holding up. But Haryana seems to be, of course, throwing the spanner in the works as far as all our poll pundits are concerned, those pollsters are concerned, because clearly it appears that Haryana is bringing a surprise at the moment again. Jammu and Kashmir, quickly, Kishore Subramaniam, National Conference Congress having a slim majority as far as the Legislative Assembly is concerned. The leads at least indicating that at the moment, but the PDP will hope that it is put to some good use in terms of its numbers. It will hope that someone will need the PDP's numbers in order to form government.
PDP as a support party is only expecting that somebody needs its help and can hold on to form the government. But the way it is looking, the NC Congress combo is going to make it up. But what I'm surprised with the J&K election is that the Jammu not holding up for BJP is a surprise. Yes, the other parts of Kashmir I understand, but Jammu not holding up is a surprise. I again come back to my old point that, despite the stone pelting going down, despite Article 370 being abrogated, and a lot of good work done for the progress and long-term interest of Jammu, I think somehow the narrative here is not built enough. And I personally traveled to Kashmir, so I understand what's the narrative there, how they look at BJP, and basically how they look at the whole equation here. But Jammu, I thought, would give more power to BJP here. But I don't think so. PDP will be required until and unless the trends change, because even in J&K, if you're looking at, though the counting is a tad late, and there has been a lot of acquisition about the 5 MLA seats that the LG has power to offer, and that could convert a minority to a majority or a majority to minority. But I still think there is a slim margin chance of NC Congress making it there. But Haryana, if Congress is claiming 60, it's ruled out. Now, I believe I've seen enough elections in my small lifetime, and I know that after 11, if these trends hold on, this is not going to be 60, and BJP is handsomely leading by more than 10 seats. Now, 10, 12, 15, the margins only increase until and unless we are in that initial, postal ballot rounds. This is not the case. We are solid 2.5, 3 hours into the counting. This is holding up. Another 2 hours, you can even call the elections.
Absolutely. In fact, let's just switch back to Haryana. Clearly, the interest is in Haryana at the moment. Let's listen into what Bhupinder Hooda has to say.
जो रुझान आ रहे हैं उसके अनुसार कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है। नहीं वो तो अभी 2 राउंड 3 राउंड हुए हैं, वो जितने रिपोर्ट जाती है उतने सारा जो खबर आई है कांग्रेस की बहुमत आ रही है।
10 साल के बाद क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी उत्तर भारत में वापसी कर रही है? 10 साल के बाद? हाँ, 10 साल के बाद क्या
कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है।
जो ट्रेंड सर चल रहे हैं उसमें बीजेपी खेमे से कहा जा रहा है कि बढ़त बनाएंगे।
कहीं नहीं बढ़त बनेगी। आप देखना नतीजा है, कांग्रेस का जो ट्रेंड आ रहा है वहाँ कांग्रेस का ज्यादा बहुमत आ रहा है।
हजारों लोग नारा लगा रहे हैं भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा जिंदाबाद मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पर आपको देखना चाहते हैं।
ये पार्टी फैसला करती है।
बीजेपी के बड़े लीडर जो पिछड़ते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं, बीजेपी के बड़े लीडर पिछड़ते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं।
कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है भाई।
सर, आपको किसी अलायंस की जरूरत पड़ेगी या कांग्रेस
यानी कांग्रेस अपनी मेजोरिटी लाएगी?
सर, फुल फ्लैग मेजॉरिटी वाली कांग्रेस की सरकार बनेगी, पूरी उम्मीद है आपको?
कह तो जगह कितनी बार कह रहा हूँ।
सर, क्रेडिट गोज टू राहुल गांधी एंड भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा जी ओनली।
क्रेडिट गोज टू पार्टी, राहुल गांधी जी, मल्लिका खड़गे जी, प्रियंका जी, all leaders of the Congress.
So what's your
and real credit goes to the people of Haryana. जो रुझान आ रहे हैं उसके अनुसार कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है। नहीं वो तो अभी 2 राउंड 3 राउंड हुए हैं, वो जितने रिपोर्ट जाती है उतने सारा जो खबर आई है कांग्रेस की बहुमत आ रही है।
10 साल के बाद क्या कांग्रेस पार्टी उत्तर भारत में वापसी कर रही है? 10 साल के बाद? हाँ, 10 साल के बाद क्या
कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है।
जो ट्रेंड सर चल रहे हैं उसमें बीजेपी खेमे से कहा जा रहा है कि बढ़त बनाएंगे।
कहीं नहीं बढ़त बनेगी। आप देखना नतीजा है, कांग्रेस का जो ट्रेंड आ रहा है वहाँ कांग्रेस का ज्यादा बहुमत
चल रही है और झूठ का पर्दाफाश है। नफरत की दुकान बंद हो गई है पूरे भारत में। हरियाणा से शुरुआत हुई है।
जलेबी ही एक ऐसी मिठाई है जो आंखों के सामने बनती है और शुद्ध मिठाई है, जिसको शुद्ध आदमी राहुल गांधी जी ने अपने हाथों में लिया और आज पूरे हिंदुस्तान के अंदर जलेबी की चर्चा है। आज जलेबी की फैक्ट्री को पता लगा कहाँ कहाँ जलेबी बनती है। ये सब राहुल गांधी जी की देन।
और ये जलेबी का हमने एक बड़ा ऑर्डर है ना, खट्टर साहब और सैनिक के घर भेजने के लिए हमने एक गोवाना से बड़ा ऑर्डर खट्टर और सैनिक दोनों के घर भेजने के लिए हमने बहुत बड़ा ऑर्डर जलेबी का दे रखे है।
देखिए, लड्डू तो हाथों से बनाया जाता है और हाथों से राहुल गांधी जी ने हरियाणा को सींच दिया, देश को सींच दिया, और अब राहुल जी चलेंगे, मोहब्बत की दुकान चलेगी और मिठास की जरूरत मोदी जी को भी है, इसलिए मोदी जी को भी लड्डू भिजवा दिए जाएंगे। जब सीएम पे ही कंफ्यूज रह गए मोदी जी तो, और हरियाणा में कांग्रेस ने साफ कर दिया सुपड़ा मोदी जी का।
देखिए, ये जो जलेबी को लेके राहुल गांधी जी पे तंज कसे गए थे ना, आज ये जलेबी बीजेपी को हरा रही है, आज ये जलेबी सच्चाई को हरा रही है। तो ये कांग्रेस की सरकार बनने जा रही है और राहुल गांधी के नेतृत्व में हम जीत रहे हैं।
शंख बजाओ, शंख बजाओ, शंख बजाओ। हमारी महिला, हमारी बेटी जीत जो हमारी बेटियों की है, इन्होंने ही जीत दिलाई है और यहाँ पर इनका सम्मान करेगा।
Okay, so those are, of course, pictures of Congress workers who are already celebrating with jalebis in Haryana. They're very confident that the Congress is going to come to power after 10 years. Remember, there was that very viral comment which was made by Rahul Gandhi when he suggested that jalebis could be made in factories. Now, Congress workers offering jalebis to everyone and saying that this is a moment that they're celebrating because they're confident that the Congress is coming to power in Haryana. But the trends, of course, have been suggesting otherwise as far as the election results are concerned. Remember, we're still awaiting the final results. It's going to be a while before those final results are in. But imagine this, it's going to be a heated contest because as far as the exit polls are concerned, they predicted a Congress win. But right now, the BJP seems to be in pole position. So on Hindustan Times, we are, of course, beaming to you those numbers as they're trickling in from the counting centers. For Haryana, the numbers suggest that the Congress is getting 36 out of 90 assembly seats, and the BJP stands at 46, 10 more than the Congress party at the moment. Others have secured, are likely to secure 48 assembly seats is what the numbers are suggesting for Haryana at the moment. Remember, 46 is the halfway mark that any party that wants to be in a government in Haryana has to cross. Now, ABP is saying that as far as Haryana goes, Congress stands at 36 at the moment, the BJP at 47 at the moment. INLD, 2, it says, and 5 for others at the moment. As far as India Today is concerned, here are the Haryana numbers. It says that the Congress is likely to secure 36 assembly seats, while the BJP is likely to secure 47 assembly seats. INLD 2, JJP, Dushyant Chautala's party, nil, others 5. As far as News 18 is concerned, it says that Haryana is suggesting that the BJP will be in pole position with 46 assembly seats, 38 for the Congress party, and 4 for independents, none for the Chautala's JJP. So the Congress is celebrating at the moment. Bhupinder Hooda, they're speaking with media persons saying, don't keep asking me the same question. The Congress is definitely winning and is definitely coming back to power in Haryana. But the numbers suggest otherwise at the moment. The BJP, of course, we'll wait to hear from BJP voices as well. Are they going to jump the gun and rejoice already? Or are they, of course, cautiously surprised at the moment and are holding their breath, waiting for these numbers to hold as well? Because then it would be a massive story that they'd have scripted, because then it would mean that after 10 years, and despite anti-incumbency, which was palpable on the ground if you visited certain areas and districts of Haryana, despite it, the BJP is expected to come back to power in Haryana. Credit, of course, it would be to the central leadership, because it was the central leadership that orchestrated the governance in Haryana, the changes that were made in Haryana, the poll strategy as far as Haryana was concerned. It was the central leadership. So who would continue as the chief minister? Would it be Naib Singh Saini? Of course, would he continue on as the chief minister, or would the BJP spring a surprise and bring in someone else to lead the state? All of that, if of course the numbers hold for the Bharatiya Janata Party, as must be heartening for them, because the exit poll predictions were completely different from this. The exit polls had predicted, I'll give you the numbers of what the exit polls were earlier. In fact, as far as the Haryana was concerned, it was surprising, because it said that, BJP stood anywhere between, say, a 15 to a 28. That was the range. I'm giving you a poll of polls right now over here. The Congress even touching 65 in the Access My India poll, 58 in the India Today C voter poll as well, 62 in the Republic of Trees poll. Dainik Bhaskar taking Congress to 54, but the numbers are suggesting a different story altogether. But Bhupinder Hooda over there, extremely confident that at the end of the day, he is likely to assume the CM's chair. He, of course, says, and as does every Congress party worker, say that the decision is with the high command. The Congress party worker will tell you that the decision is with the high command, and the high command will decide who will become chief minister. But they're confident, he's confident that Congress is going to emerge victorious, and Kumari Shelja expects it to be 60 plus seats for the Congress party. Let's listen in to various reactions that have been coming in this morning.
And there are rounds which are counted, and you will see as the day develops, as counting goes on and progresses, you will see that Congress party will form the government and we will get 60 plus. Rest assured.
अभी मैम जिस तरह से आगे पीछे चल रहा है, पहले कांग्रेस आगे थी, फिर 50-50 हुआ, क्या लगता है कि क्या ये अर्ली ट्रेंड्स है अभी जाके कुछ, क्योंकि आप जगह जगह घूमे हुए हैं?
देखो, इट इज टू अर्ली, राउंड्स होते हैं, हमको मालूम होता है कि कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीजें चलती हैं। तो इसको आप इतना ज्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन, ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है, लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी।
10 बज रहा है मैम, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे
कम
कम से कम। कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीजें चलती हैं। तो इसको आप इतना ज्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन। ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है, लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम, कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी।
10 बज रहा है मैम, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे कम से कम। उम्मीद नहीं, विश्वास है।
मुख्यमंत्री कौन बन रहा है? मेरे साथ तो कुमारी सैलजा है, कांग्रेस पार्टी की सीनियर है।
इस वक्त ये रिजल्ट बताए जा रहे थे, उस वक्त अभी पोस्टल बैलेट गिने भी नहीं गए थे। उस वक्त तो पोस्टल बैलेटों की स्कैनिंग हो रही थी, प्रोसेस है। पहले पोस्टल बैलेट खुलते हैं, फिर उनकी स्कैनिंग होती है, फिर काउंटिंग होती है। अब एक राउंड खुल चुका है, दूसरे पर गिनती हो रही है। ठीक है ना जी?
जिस तरह के ट्रेंड आप श्योर है बीजेपी की सरकार बन जाएगी अंत में जब नतीजा आएगा? क्योंकि अभी आगे हो गई है बीजेपी, 38 पर बीजेपी है, 31 पर कांग्रेस है इलेक्शन कमीशन।
हाँ, बिल्कुल हमें उम्मीद है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी विल फेयर वेल।
सर आप काउंटिंग सेंटर पे नहीं गए, काफी रिलैक्स लग रहा है।
नहीं, मैं कभी नहीं जाता, मैं तो सर्टिफिकेट लेने जाऊंगा, उसी वक्त ही जाता हूँ। मेरा चुनाव मेरे कार्यकर्ता लड़ते हैं, मेरे शहर की जनता लड़ती है, और जश्न भी मेरे शहर की जनता ही मनाती है हर बार। मैं तो शामिल हो जाता हूँ।
देखिए मुख्यमंत्री के पद पर अभी भी दावेदारी है आपकी?
नहीं, देखिए जो कहे हुए शब्द हैं वो कभी वापस नहीं लिए जाते, जो कहा हुआ वो कहा हुआ।
चलिए एक मिनट हमारे साथ बातचीत करने के लिए
नहीं, फिर अगर आपने मेरी बात सुनो,
आगे जाओ।
काउंटिंग है और हमें पूर्ण विश्वास है हरियाणा प्रदेश की जो हमने सेवा ईमानदारी से पिछले 10 वर्षों के अंदर की है, मैं उस आधार के ऊपर कह सकता हूं कि हम तीसरी बार हरियाणा के अंदर एक तरफा सरकार बना रहे हैं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी तीसरी बार सेवा के लिए तैयार है, क्योंकि केंद्र में आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बने हैं, और हमने पिछले 10 वर्षों के अंदर आदरणीय मोदी जी के नेतृत्व के अंदर हरियाणा की गति से विकास किया है, समस्याओं का समाधान किया है, ईमानदारी से हमारी सरकार ने किया है, और आगे भी हम मजबूती से, ईमानदारी से हरियाणा प्रदेश को आगे बढ़ाने का काम हमारी सरकार करेगी।
ये तस्वीर अभी बहुत जल्दी पलटेगी, और तस्वीर पलटते हुए देर नहीं लगेगी। हमारे लिए अच्छी खबर हरियाणा से भी आएगी, हमारे लिए अच्छी खबर जम्मू कश्मीर से भी आ रही है। मेरा अपना मानना है कि जैसे बिहार में एक बार हुआ था, 12 बजे से अपने इलेक्शन को ऑल आउट कर दिया था और फिर तस्वीर पलट गई थी, वही हरियाणा में होगा। बड़ी देर से मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन की वेबसाइट देख रही हूँ, जिसको अब अधिकांश चैनल दिखा रहे हैं, वहां पर डेटा भी चेंज नहीं हो रहा है। हमारा वोट शेयर काफी आगे है बीजेपी से, और ये सीटों में जरूर तब्दील होगा। जो ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं वो 3 या 4 राउंड एवरेज हुए अभी, और उसमें हम आगे हैं।
मैम, लेकिन कई सीट ऐसी हैं जहां पर आप 10-10, 15-15 हजार के मार्जिन से पीछे हैं, तो उनको कैसे कोप अप करेंगे आप लोग?
और कई सीटें ऐसी हैं जिसमें हम बहुत आगे भी हैं। तो मेरा अपना मानना है कि ये तस्वीर बदलेगी, और तस्वीर इसलिए बदलेगी क्योंकि हम लोगों ने मुद्दों पर चुनाव लड़ा है, किसानों, जवानों, पहलवानों और युवाओं के मुद्दों पर चुनाव लड़ा है, और ये इलेक्शन जरूर पलटेगा। भी आप 12 बजे तक का इंतजार करिए, ऐसा मेरा मानना है।
अहिरवार बेल्ट हो, जाट बेल्ट हो, जो अब तक ट्रेडिशनल कांग्रेस की रही है, यहाँ पर आप लोगों के हिसाब से नतीजे?
मुझे लगता है हमें उम्मीद इससे और भी प्रचंड बहुमत की थी। बहुमत की सरकार हमारी बनेगी, मुझे इसमें कोई भी संशय नहीं है।
बीजेपी ने तैयारी शुरू कर दी है,
बीजेपी हेडक्वार्टर पर तो परिंदा नहीं फड़क रहा था, और अब वहां पे पहुंच रहे हैं लोग। तो मेरा अपना मानना है उनका डिसीजन कि वो टीवी पैनल पर भी नहीं आ रहे थे, अब आने की शायद सोच रहे हैं। ये इलेक्शन जम्मू कश्मीर और हरियाणा में हुआ है, और दोनों जगह कांग्रेस की सरकार बनेगी।
जम्मू कश्मीर के रिजल्ट्स को कैसे देखते हैं आप?
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर ने एक बहुत बड़ा मैसेज दिया है। आप इस देश के किसी भी राज्य की अस्मिता के साथ खिलवाड़ नहीं कर सकते हैं। आप इस देश के किसी भी राज्य को घटाकर यूनियन टेरिटरी नहीं बना सकते हैं। जम्मू कश्मीर को ये काबिले बर्दाश्त नहीं था। बीजेपी ना सिर्फ कश्मीर में बल्कि जम्मू में भी हार रही है, और ये एक बहुत बड़ा संदेश जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों ने दिया है। धन्यवाद।
there are rounds which are counted, and you will see as the day develops, as counting goes on and progresses, you will see that Congress party will form the government and we will get 60 plus. Rest assured.
अभी मैम जिस तरह से आगे पीछे चल रहा है, पहले कांग्रेस आगे थी, फिर 50-50 हुआ, क्या लगता है कि क्या ये अर्ली ट्रेंड्स है, अभी जाके कोई
देखो, इट इज टू अर्ली, राउंड्स होते हैं, हमको मालूम होता है कि कौन सी पॉकेट का कब काउंटिंग होनी है, तो ये सब चीजें चलती हैं, तो इसको आप इतना ज्यादा मत समझिए कि सेंसेक्स की तरह अप एंड डाउन, ये है, काउंटिंग का एक दौर होता है, हर इलेक्शन में होता है, लेकिन आश्वस्त हैं हम, कांग्रेस सरकार बनाएगी।
10 बज रहा है, कितनी देर और रुक जाए आपके हिसाब से?
देखो अभी शायद तीसरा चौथा राउंड है, तो 10 एक और होंगे, कम से कम उम्मीद नहीं, विश्वास है।
मुख्यमंत्री कौन बन रहा है?
देर नहीं लगेगी, हमारे लिए अच्छी खबर हरियाणा से भी आएगी, हमारे लिए अच्छी खबर जम्मू कश्मीर से भी आ रही है। मेरा अपना मानना है कि जैसे बिहार में एक बार हुआ था, 12 बजे से अपने इलेक्शन को ऑल आउट कर दिया था, फिर तस्वीर पलट गई थी, वही हरियाणा में होगा। बड़ी देर से मैं इलेक्शन कमीशन की वेबसाइट देख रही हूँ, जिसको अब अधिकांश चैनल दिखा रहे हैं, वहां पर डेटा भी चेंज नहीं हो रहा है, हमारा वोट शेयर काफी आगे है बीजेपी से, और ये सीटों में जरूर तब्दील होगा। जो ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट्स आ रही हैं, वो 3 या 4 राउंड एवरेज हुए अभी, और उसमें हम आगे हैं।
मैम, लेकिन कई सीट ऐसी हैं जहां पर आप 10-10, 15-15 हजार के मार्जिन।
Okay, so that is Srinath saying the trends will change, and she believes that the Congress will emerge victorious by the end of this day. Let's listen in to what BJP stalwart leader from Haryana, Anil Vij, has to say to that.
देखिए, ये अम्बाला छावनी मेरे शहर का मुख्य चौराहा है, इसको सदर बाजार चौक कहते हैं। मैं 50 साल से इसी चौक पर कभी इधर कभी उधर बैठ के मित्रों के साथ, नो पॉलिटिक्स, यहाँ पे नॉन पॉलिटिकल लोग भी बैठते हैं, सभी बैठते हैं, हम गपशप करते हैं। और ये गपशप कैंपेन के दौरान भी, जब उम्मीदवार सुबह 6 बजे लोगों के दरवाजे तोड़ने शुरू कर देते थे, और मैं यही होता था, मैं तो इस चौक को कभी नहीं छोड़ा। मैंने चुनाव लड़ा है, हरियाणा का सबसे ज्यादा ऑर्गेनाइज चुनाव लड़ा।
सर, अभी आप खुशी में गीत गा रहे थे, जरा 2 लाइनें अगर हो जाए।
क्या बोल उसके शुरू से? मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ा, हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाता चला गया। जो मिल गया उसी को मुकद्दर समझ लिया, जो मिल गया उसी को मुकद्दर समझ लिया, मुकद्दर समझ लिया, मुकद्दर समझ लिया। जो मिल न सका उसको बुलाता चला गया, मैं जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया, गम और खुशी का फर्क न महसूस हो जहां, गम और खुशी का फर्क न महसूस हो जहां, न महसूस हो जहां, न महसूस हो जहां, चला गया, जिंदगी का साथ निभाता चला गया।
Okay, so that in fact was Anil Vij assuming a very carefree attitude at the moment, suggesting that he's just going to wait and see what happens. But the BJP definitely feeling much better now after the exit poll predictions, which suggested that the Congress was going to oust the BJP from power. Now, Ashish Ranjan, he is a data analyst, a political commentator as well. He's joining us at the moment. Ashish, what happened in Haryana? You've been on the field in Haryana as well. What do you think changed in Haryana? Because if we just look at it, we're not trying to call numbers yet, but even the Election Commission's website, I'm looking at it right now, is giving 40 to the BJP and 36 to the Congress, Ashish.
Hi, Palami. In the morning, we were talking about the Haryana, and I told you that there is a complete bipolarization, and it's a caste polarization. In the one hand, Congress has support of the Jat Muslims and the Jata. On the other hand, the other 60% community, BJP has a strong base. The second thing I told, that's the BJP will start from 35% votes. Even in their vote scenario, they will get 35% vote, and Congress will start with 40%. Whatever the electoral outcome, the current trend is saying Congress has 40 point something vote percent as per the ECI website, and surprisingly, BJP has 39% vote share, which is very close to 1% margin. What you were talking about, that's many exit poll indicated a huge vote share gap. One thing is very clear, and it's not unknown for you and me and other person. It was clearly visible on ground. That's a caste polarization. Non-Jat, especially in the OBC and the lower SC, they are clearly behind with the BJP. The only question was whether their support base will will boost BJP to get more than 40%. Please remember, unless BJP or Congress get more than 40%, they won't be able to touch the majority mark. This is the only 3, 4, 5 rounds for vote of the counting. There are lots of counting is happening. Whoever will get benefit cross the number, the 40% mark, they might have an edge, because both parties has in a conditions where altogether they will counted as a 80% vote share. That is the marginalization of the regional parties and other independent. However, some of the small parties like NLD, JJP, and independent might play a role of a spoiler in case of, against the BJP or the Congress. What is till now, the 11 o'clock, it's clearly visible that's close. The contest in Haryana is not as indicated in the exit poll and the other trend. So clearly, whatever the outcome will say, whether BJP get the majority or Congress will get the majority, or both party might not be able to get the cross the majority mark. In all conditions, one thing is very clear: there was no wave. It was not a wave election. The second thing, as we have been discussing, it's a complete polarization, and we need to remember in the fourth electoral system, BJP is a dominant player wherever they are in power and in a good position. Where if they are fighting against the Congress and other things, they have a huge and they have been able to manage the to attract a huge number of voters. But even though they are facing the anti-incumbency, they are not losing the ground. Means BJP is a party which still hold their base. However, Congress, which used to, in the last few elections, they have been able to increase their vote share, but they still need to work harder to, to maintain a line share of gap while the contest is between BJP and the Congress.
Okay. Ashish, stay on with us. Also, Gulresh Sheikh is joining us at the moment. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Obviously, the cliffhanger seems to be coming in from Haryana. Everyone expected that J&K is going to be the nail biter. Will it be a hung house? How will the NC Congress, confident of a victory, cross the halfway mark? It appears Haryana now, sir, is actually putting up the surprise package of these two assembly elections. How do you read the switch in positions between the two parties? Earlier it was the Congress, now it appears the BJP is running away with this election.
Follow me. We were already knowing that this was going to happen, and I was very confident. You can check my previous interviews on various channels, and I was saying even on the day when the exit poll was there, that I don't buy this tally of exit poll, because we have worked a lot in Haryana, and Haryana unfortunately was the epicenter or nerve center of negative politics, caste-based politics, everything bad which was not there in India but was presented there in India. Let it be against the players, let it be against the farmers. So that so we were sensing the people were actually disgusted by that thing and that negative the kind of politics of Congress party, and that has boomeranged. And this is what's showing in the results. And I'm optimistic that we will cross the tally of 55 in Haryana.
You're going to cross 55 is what you're saying. In that case, if the numbers hold, of course, by the end of the day, in that case, Naib Singh Saini is likely to continue on as the chief minister, or will the BJP spring a surprise again?
No, he will be the chief minister. Already, Mr. Amit Shah has also told that thing. So, Mr. Naib Singh Saini will be the chief minister. He was presented as the CM face by Bharatiya Janata Party. And one thing is there, he is a person who has worked tirelessly in all these days, and people have actually put their trust on that face. So, he will be there. And let me be one thing very clear. We have made history in Haryana. This is the first time any party has repeated its government third time in the state of Haryana. So this is a big slap on the face of Congress party, which after the Lok Sabha polls used to say that BJP has lost its glamour and people are not trusting BJP. Those all things are vanished, and people have shown whom they trust. They don't trust Rahul Gandhi, they trust Narendra Modi.
And who would you credit this victory to?
Our party workers, our party, our top brass, Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. JP Nadda, Mr. Amit Shah, and the tireless work of Haryana unit, as well as our national office.
Okay. Mr. Sheikh, request you to be on with us. Ashish, also stay on with us. I will take this across now to our colleague Abhishek Singh from Hindustan Times, who is in fact going to take us through a sense of where each contestant right now, especially in high-profile seats, stands at the moment. The constituency Times has been keeping it live on our website. You can go and find it there as well. But Abhishek, over to you. Has been keeping it live on our website. You can go and find it there as well. But Abhishek, has been keeping it live on our website. You can go and find it there as well. But Abhishek,
Right, Paulami. So, very interesting picture emerging as far as Haryana is concerned. As you can see in this constituency map of Haryana, of course, then the regions which are towards the south and towards the west, and of course, also, closer to Punjab, that is where BJP has actually taken the lead. And this is in contradiction to what most of the exit polls said. In fact, if we want to quickly go back to what some of the major exit polls had said, then you would notice that Dainik Bhaskar had only given BJP 19 to 29 seats, whereas India Today C Voter had given 20 to 28 seats. People's Pulse had given BJP 26 seats, and it was only JIST-IF Research exit poll which had given BJP the highest, and that number was, it was a wide range actually, it was between 29 to 37. But at this point in time, if you look at the numbers coming in with the roughly 25% of the votes having been counted so far, BJP is close to 50 seats. That's the number of seats BJP is leading in. And then, of course, at the same time, when you talk about Haryana, the thing which everybody's pointing out is the fact that this will be historic in the sense that BJP has been in power for 2 terms back to back. And this will be the 3rd term if BJP manages to, basis the numbers which are coming in, if BJP manages to continue, and by the end of the day, if it emerges as the winner, which at this point in time, it's clearly seeming to be, then in that case, this is going to be absolutely historic because it would have fought anti-incumbency. It would have also fought the kind of sentiment which had started growing. India Alliance had started talking about how after 2024 elections, the Prime Minister Modi's sort of, heft and his image and the wave which people had been talking about had sort of, waned a little bit. But having said that, now if you look at the numbers, BJP, of course, is leading at this point in time on 48 seats, with the Congress leading in 36. JGP is, of course, the biggest loser, so to speak, because it has come down. In 2019, it had won 10 seats. And at this point in time, if you can look at the chart, I'm not sure if it's visible or not, but JJP had won only 0. This time is leading only on 0 seats. And then others are leading on 6, which means BJP is well past the halfway mark. And in that sense, of course, BJP is completely dominating Haryana. And as I was mentioning earlier, this is in complete contradiction to what the exit polls were saying. Some of the key seats like Gurgaon, of course, is where BJP is also leading. And what's also to be noticed is that, the responsibility of Haryana had been, handed over, so to speak, to Hooda. And he, along with Uday Ban, campaigned, pressed, and try to galvanize as many votes as he could. And of course, results are there. It's not like Congress has been wiped out. It is still leading on 36 seats. And remember, at this point in time, only 25%, roughly 26 actually, percent votes which have been counted. And from the overall vote share, in terms of the votes which have been counted so far, Congress has managed to secure 40.8%. BJP 39.4%, and the median vote share for Congress and BJP at this point in time is 39.7%, and for the BJP 41.9%. So, these trends do suggest that this trend is likely to hold. This will continue to hold, and if it does, then in that case, of course, BJP is going to, in contradiction to what the exit polls were saying, end up sweeping Haryana, which will be historic, as I was saying earlier, because it will be the third term for the BJP in Haryana, and which also means that Nayak Singh Saini, who was appointed the chief minister after after he replaced Khattar by the central committee of the BJP. So if you look at some constituency now, at this point in time, from the Adhampur constituency, Chandra Prakash is leading of the Congress. The winner from this seat in 2019 was Kuldeep Bishnoi of the Congress. Then we will, after Adhampur, take a look at some of the other key constituencies. We're looking at Tosham. Shruti Chaudhary of the BJP is leading from this seat in 2019. Actually, we have moved on to Ucha Kala now, and Brajendra Singh of the Congress is leading 2019. Dushyant Chautala, interestingly, had won from this seat. But as we showed you in the seat share earlier, JNGP at this point in time is not leading on any seat for that matter, including Chautala himself. Now, moving to Vinesh Phogat's constituency, this is Jalana. Yogesh Kumar of the BJP is leading. And now moving to Safedon, Ram Kumar Gautam of the BJP is leading. Nirvana, Krishnan Kumar of the BJP is leading. So very interesting picture emerging, Palami. And we will, of course, keep updating our viewers, keep looking at this chart again and again. From Badli, it is Kuldeep Bhatt of the Congress who's leading. So we will join you again, in this studio with the latest. And back to you.
Right, Abhishek, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed with all of those trends that seem to be trickling in at the moment. As Abhishek was pointing out, if these numbers hold, which it looks likely, because it's been a while since the BJP seems to be leading as far as Haryana numbers go, then clearly it is going to be historic for the Bharatiya Janata Party, a third consecutive term for the BJP at the helm of affairs in Haryana. Mr. Sheikh, you wanted to come in?
Yes, I want to request you to shed some light on the performance of Aam Aadmi Party as well, because Mr. Kejriwal said that no government will be formed in Haryana without their party. And
okay, so the Aam Aadmi Party currently stands at a vote share of 1.6% in Haryana. I'm looking at the Election Commission website, while the BJP stands at 39.10 and the Congress at 40.37.
So they are one of the biggest loser in Haryana, and this was the same Kejriwal who was using his big mouth in Gujarat, and then he used his big mouth there in Haryana, and both the places they failed, and they are failing in Haryana horribly. So they have just raised their mark by 0.5% votes. Last time I think they got something around 0.48 or 0.49% vote, and now they have, after becoming the national party, they got a 0.5 more. So this is the condition of these people. I will take a
So that
leave.
is what, of course, the Aam Aadmi Party has to say. Maybe the Congress and those who oppose this alliance will have something to say about that as well, saying that this is exactly why we didn't enter into an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party in Haryana. But looking at the vote share numbers, the Ashish, what do you make of it? I'll just rattle off some of those of the Election Commission website at the moment. As far as Haryana goes, BJP at 39.10%. Congress at 40.37%, INLD at 4.8%, JJP at 0.81%. So these are some of the percentages, but seat-wise, of course, the BJP has a huge lead over the Congress. BJP at 49 as far as the trends and the leads go over on the Election Commission's website. And Congress at 35, 49, 35.
Polemic. So if this trends hold, so as we discussed that if BJP cross 40% mark, which is very close to right now, then of course all the dynamics, all the perception will be changed for the Haryana Assembly election. What is significant, and you will say that even with the less 1% less vote share, BJP is doing pretty well than the Congress. This can be seen that BJP's vote share is very much concentrated. I mean, it's spread in across the region, but however, it much in spread in the Hisar region and the southern Haryana region, and especially the Karnal Kurukshetra region. So that all those votes are converting in the seats. However, Congress has not been able to convert those seats. I mean, we are still need to find out the way. I mean, we will still have to wait some more time because the counting is. I can't say slow because I don't know. But whatever the ECI is saying is still the counting of the it's around 50 lakhs votes. However, there is still need 85 lakhs more votes needs to be count more. So we will have to
about
wait
25%
little more.
of the voting has been done.
Exactly.
But polling,
70,
counting has been done.
Yeah, more than 25%, but still we need to wait. So, but at this moment, it's premature to say that BJP will lose and Congress will gain. I mean, it's because we will have to stick our vote share, and vote share indicates that's a very much close. It's a narrowing 1% vote share gap, which can be flipped in either side. So even still with the less than 1% vote, BJP is heading. So if BJP will get little more votes, then the hope for the Congress will be diminished.
Absolutely. Ashish, stay on with us. Mr. Kinchan Sharma of the Bharatiya Janata Party is also joining us this morning. This must be quite a surprise for you, or were you? I'm sure you'd say we were expecting this, but clearly it has surprised many across most circles.
Very good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Go on.
Jai Mata Di. It is not surprising. It is as per our expectation, as per our reports. Even in debates in last 2 days, I was saying Bharatiya Janata Party is going to make a government over there third time because Bharatiya Janata Party worked very hard over there. Bharatiya Janata Party was only the party who were talking about all the caste, all the religion, and all the you can say region of the Haryana. And other party were talking about particular community, particular caste, particular region, particular religion. So they were not talking about the entire Haryana, and they were not having neither the leader nor the you can say any clear-cut vision or roadmap. So they were failed because of they were showing like they are interested more in projecting the one family, protecting one family, protecting couple of the families. That's it. And at the same time, Bharatiya Janata Party was.
Respond to that because that is the BJP's charge. That the Congress's entire campaign seemed to have centered around one caste, one community, to the neglect of others, and that is why the Congress is in the position that it is in at the moment, as we see it in Haryana.
So it would be unfair to say that Congress was focusing only on one particular caste or religion. And what in fact is happening is, if you see, BJP has been working on a non-Jat coalition for quite some time. It's not that it has happened for the first time. So this is turning out to be an interesting fight, but it's too early to write off Congress right now. I mean, we have seen that over the day, fortunes might turn. And Congress has leaders from all
But the trends
castes.
have been holding for a while. I know that there are several rounds of counting to go. For instance, in Julana, I was just looking at the Election Commission website where it shows that Vinesh Phogat is trailing at the moment. Yogesh Bairagi is leading. 6 out of 15 rounds have taken place. But the fact of the matter is that these trends, which show that the BJP is leading, have been holding for a while. So it might just appear that this is what's going to be the end result.
And that would be surprising, because what it would reflect is not just on Congress, but the fact that a victim of a Me Too victim has been ignored by the voters. So it would actually be shocking that a state where Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao campaign was launched, a Beti who was harassed by a BJP politician is trailing, and if she loses, it's a
No,
I mean,
this
something to
is a
ponder
fake
about.
narrative. I object about it. Please allow me to respond.
No, there is a
The
case
people
going
of the
on.
Haryana knows
There is no
it was
fake
projected, it
narrative
was
here.
planned,
There is a case going on
and
in the court.
it was
How is it a
a
fake
planned
narrative?
agitation of the Congress. And we have a
No,
law and order. We have a law and
you have been trying
division.
to do that.
FIR
You
is
are
already
insulting
registered,
the women
and law is
that
doing
have
its own
powers.
course. Law is doing its own course. Nobody.
A charge. I understand that. You will have your opportunity to respond to that. Mr. Mishra, go on.
Yeah, so you know, this is the sort of thing which women like Vinesh Phogat have to face even today. That where there is a case going on in a court, we have a BJP spokesman saying that it's a fake narrative, and if that sort of lie has sold in Haryana, and voters of Haryana have accepted that, I would find it shocking. And you know, we also have to remember how the farmers were treated of Haryana. So yeah, it's interesting, and sort of maybe at this moment it looks hard to understand how Haryana could forget all the 10 years of misgovernance, how it could forget how the farmers were treated, and how its women were treated. And even today, BJP is insisting that these wrestlers weren't mistreated. They are trying to protect people accused of sexual harassment. So yeah, it's interesting, but I think it's too early to write off Congress right now. There might be a flip. Because
Nobody's
if you
writing
remember
off
in
for
the
the
early
Congress
morning,
at the moment. What was
Congress was
basically
leading.
looking at the numbers, they suggest that the Congress hasn't performed as per its own expectations, or at least what was predicted of the Congress's performance. Mr. Sharma, over to you now. You can respond to the charge which has been made. It appears like the voter, as Mr. Mishra says, the voter of Haryana has surprised everyone.
I would like to request Mr. Mishra ji, please do not insult the voters. Voters have their rights and they have casted as per their choice. Please do not dictate them. You are trying to dictate them. Another thing, everybody knows it was a Congress-sponsored narrative. I'm not talking about particular person, particular athlete, particular lady you are talking about. Law is doing its own course. FIR is registered, case is in court is taking a decision, police has filed a strong FIR, but still, Congress were running everywhere the fake narrative. So fake narrative doesn't go well with the people. People understand. If it was not sponsored by the Congress, if it was not pushed by the Congress, if it's not misused by Congress, then why that person is fighting election with the Congress? So truth is truth and untruth is untruth. So I'm not talking about a particular person. So the court will take a decision, but unnecessary. It was dragged, and they were trying to defame PM Modi ji and entire BJP. That went wrong against the Congress. Another thing, Congress was stuck to the one family. Congress were insulting everybody other than particular community or particular family or particular region. They were just focusing on certain area only. So that was the problem. Even they have insulted their own leaders. SC/ST community. Badly they have insulted SC/ST community. They were not even inviting them in a meetings, giving them respect, giving them equal opportunity. So that was the problem. Whereas Bharatiya Janata Party has distributed and given the respect to all the community. We have neglected none. We have given the representation to all the community, all the region, and all the people. And as a one team, Bharatiya Janata Party leadership went in Haryana. We discussed with the people. We explained. Congress has manipulated. Congress were projecting a wrong narrative during the Lok Sabha election. That's why we lost 5 seats. But we were able to convince the people. Bharatiya Janata Party is right. Bharatiya Janata Party roadmap is right. Bharatiya Janata Party can only take Haryana forward and nation forward. And everybody is seeing how Adani Prime Minister Modi ji has taken our economy from 10 to 5th and taken from 5th to 3rd very fast. And now the entire world is looking forward to the Bharatiya Janata Party leader Adani Prime Minister Modi ji, who is also the Prime Minister of the nation. Because of the strong government, strong leadership, strong, you can say, we have a plan and roadmap. So people of Haryana are very intelligent and they are across the world and they see how a nation is progressing, how Haryana is progressing under the Bharatiya Janata Party government. Now there is no, you don't have to pay the money for getting a job. If people are getting a job on the merit. If you perform, then you'll get a job. You don't have to pay.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Mr.
Yeah.
Sharma and Mr. Mishra, I'll come across to you. Ashish, I wonder if you've had an opportunity to study the trends as they are coming in. Abhishek, my colleague earlier, was pointing out that much of the BJP's gains seem to be along the constituencies bordering Punjab as well. During your study of the field in Haryana, where do you think BJP has gained?
Sorry. So one thing is very clear. So I mean in the Karnal belt, Karnal, Kurukshetra, Panipat belt, Anamban, BJP holding their base. However, in Hisar region, which they seems to lose in the 2024 national election, they lost the ground, but they are gaining again. Southern Haryana, they have been strong and they are still strong. So the interesting battle is in the Hisar region, Hisar, Charki Dadri, all these regions, BJP has been gaining from 2019. So one more thing I just wanted to point out. I mean, because one of the spokesperson mentioned the Kharchi Perchi. And this was, I mean, I was in another channel in the morning, and I was telling, even in the exit poll, that's the region of the close election, and I always maintain the same thing, that Congress start with 40% and BJP will start from 35%. It's also, it's again the one thing is the caste polarization and Azad versus the other. It was clearly visible in the ground among the lower SC and lower OBCs that this government has been able to provide job. It might be in a less number, but been able to provide the job without bina kharchi, bina parchi. And this is true. I mean, nobody can deny this. And we met some of the persons who's in one of the member in their family got a job, even though they did not expect that we will get job in anyhow in the near future as well. So it was beyond their expectation. So this government has not been, once I said the BJP has been consolidating their vote base, it's not simply on the card of Hindutva and the caste consolidation. It's also based on some transactional benefit. So Haryana has been able to observe bina kharchi bina parchi kind of thing. And also in last few years, and it's not Haryana based, in the other region as well. So lots of transactional benefits. So for example, the money to the farmers, the old age pension, all these things due to the centralization has been able to pull the person, especially in the lower section, in terms of lower class. They have been mobilized with the BJP. Whatever the result, this analysis can't be changed. I mean, even the trends change and Congress win, we can't say that there was no kharchi, jobs without kharchi and parchi, and there was no transactional benefits to the people. The BJP was lacking in terms of perception. Again, the Jawan Kisan and the Palwan thing, but all are related to the jobs and the few land holding community. At the same time, BJP benefited from the lower section also due to the Supreme Court verdict, where the SC, which has wholeheartedly and in a large number voted for the Congress in the national general election 2024, that SC votes has been splitting little bit, and based on the lower section of SC and the upper section of SC.
Okay. Okay. Ashish, thank you so much for breaking that down for us. Joining us also right now, Sunitra Chaudhary, who is political editor at the Hindustan Times. Also, Yuvraj Pukharna, political analyst, is joining us as well. Sunitra, surprised by how the trends have changed this morning in Haryana?
Well, it basically shows that the BJP, when they say something to us, we should take it seriously. I'm sure you have been speaking with BJP leaders as well. And one of the things that they said very, very clearly in the last few weeks was, don't write us off. In the last 20 days, we have turned things around. This was a claim, I think, I think the mistake that the media made, and obviously the pollsters made as well, they didn't take this claim too seriously. But if you spoke with strategic on the ground, they said it constantly that we have turned things around. We have turned things around. We've been working at it. I've just been speaking to a couple of people in the BJP, and what they said, because they were people who came in from Rajasthan and other places. You had Satish Punya coming in. He was in charge of the state. And what they said was that when they came in 2-3 months ago in the state, one thing that they noticed very clearly was the fact that because the BJP had been in government over there for 10 years, the organization was very weak. And what had also happened was that because of in 2024 election results and everything else, then the worker felt dejected, the worker felt down. So the BJP, and this we've seen in Madhya Pradesh as well, the BJP worked at organizing, motivating their workers on the ground. And of course, we saw a very clever maneuvering that they did with tickets, right? They were very clear that one of the things that has worked for them in tackling the Congress in Haryana, which is basically Bhupinder Hooda, that is a Jat-dominated kind of party, is to show that they will have non-Jat mobilization, right? So even when you look at the tickets, where Congress was giving to 27 Jats, they give to considerably less ones. So about 10 less than that, they give tickets to Jat voters, and they give a considerable amount to Brahmin voters and things like that. So the entire non-Jat mobilization was also done. But one of the things that they focused on very, very clearly was they worked on motivating their workers, making sure that they were out there, and it seems to have paid off. One of the lessons, I think we can keep talking about this, because more than the BJP doing everything right, it seems that the Congress made the mistake that they did in other states yet again. Riding on the momentum of 2024. And this is something, one of the stories that we did in the Hindustan Times column is the fact that, where they felt comfortable, they thought they were comfortable, every bit counts. And I think the BJP didn't forget that, and they worked on this. Whereas the Congress didn't work on everything counts, and which is why you saw, Rahul Gandhi made an attempt to fix those, to bridge those divisions that we've been seeing. Everybody's talked a lot about Kumari Selja, but it wasn't just about Kumari Selja. It's about making sure that every other leader that is there, every other, and it shouldn't be seen just as a Bhupinder Hooda or Dipinder Hooda party. I think even the kind of overconfidence with which they dismiss the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party, because one of the things that I was speaking with the Congress right now, they point out is that if you look at this Congress, the seats that the Congress is losing, in 20 of those seats, what you see is that you have spoilers over there, right? So over there, in 20 of those seats that the Congress is losing, 9 of them are to independents. So this has been a huge setback. The fact that INLD, BSP, AAP, so obviously the other votes and not being able to consolidate the opposition to the BJP, completely dismissing any kind of, and out of those 20 seats, two that they, where the third candidate has a much larger margin than the losing margin is the AAP candidate in two of those seats. So it just shows that if they had done that alliance with the AAP, perhaps they would have been better off. Another thing that they, of course, point out is that there are many seats that they are hoping it won't be what it looks like right now, that it is that the BJP is about 50, right? That right now the tally is about 50, and for the Congress to be around 35, 36.
49, 35.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're saying that because of the fact that the margin is very low, so they hope that it will stabilize to something around 40 odd seats with BJP, a few more, and Congress. So they're hoping that it will be much more of a negotiable situation where they can talk to the thing. But that isn't the point. The point is that this was an election which the Congress felt they had in the bag. And now what they found out is because of the mistakes they made, because others have taken 10% of the vote share, they're left scrambling for votes right now, and they're left fighting for seats. So the non-Jat consolidation, the fact that others have got a vote share of 10% of the votes,
May I respond,
and
please?
independents have cut the votes, shows that the Congress is left fighting for its survival in Haryana.
Right. Yuvraj Pokharna, political analyst, is also joining us right now. Yuvraj, you were one of those who said don't write off the BJP yet. You stuck your neck out about that. What made you think, and what do you think the BJP got right?
Good afternoon, Polumi. See, at the onset, when I traveled and when I spoke with people, one thing that I realized is the Indian electorate is now matured enough to discern between perception and the reality. Let's just juxtapose the two elections that we saw in recent days. The 2024 Lok Sabha election versus the 2024 Haryana Vidhan Sabha election. People have seen through the perception game that was built when the BJP was clearly tom-tomming about 400 par, 400 par, 400 par. And each and every pollster in the market had his foot in his mouth. So now the people have learned to discern that reality is one thing, perception is another. And let's just talk about Rahul Gandhi and the Congress that he leads. Even they were tom-tomming about and they were casting aspersions about reservations being scrapped from the constitution. There was a case of fake video. So now it's very clear. First, the factor was perception reality. Second, it was the credibility of a leader. I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you love him or hate him, but Narendra Modi as a leader has amassed a vote bank, a fan following, and he is known to be a credible face. A Kisan leader from Haryana who supports this Kisan Morcha. But off the camera, he told me one thing. कि भाई नरेंद्र मोदी हमको 6,000 देता है, but देता है. और राहुल गांधी खटाखट बोलता है, but देता कुछ नहीं है. और कमोड शौचालय पे भी टैक्स लगा रहा है.
It was one of the points that Ashish was also making about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one last thing. The factor that we wrote off from the 2024 Lok Sabha elections is the RSS factor. RSS and its cadre was very disenchanted with the BJP then. But this election, I am being told by one of the very, very, very senior functionary of RSS that RSS has covered more than or around 7,000 villages in Haryana, and they have visited each and every household at least twice, with every Vidhan Sabha convened every second day. So RSS factor is the most important factor which every pollster, which the Congress party, and which even the media sideline or write off.
Okay. Some very interesting points you're making. Meanwhile, Jairam Ramesh has just posted on X Netra. He says, like the Lok Sabha elections in Haryana, we are again witnessing slowing down of uploading up-to-date trends on the ECI website. Is the BJP trying to build pressure on the administration by sharing outdated and misleading trends?
Well, I think the Congress right now is scrambling a little bit. I I have spoken with certain people and they're just saying, okay, let's wait and watch. But I mean, you can't find fault with the EC right now when you're crossing the halfway mark in Jammu and Kashmir and you're dithering over here. So obviously you can't have double standards over there. So the Congress right now really scrambling for that. I think one of the things that they will have to answer for, Paulomi, is the fact that why did they, and it's fresh in our memory, right? 2023, what happened in Chhattisgarh. I'm not going into Madhya Pradesh because Madhya Pradesh, there wasn't a fight at all. Madhya Pradesh, the BJP basically came back for various reasons. But one of the things the lessons that the Congress had from Madhya Pradesh and from the Chhattisgarh elections late in 2023 was you cannot leave it to regional leaders. And yet the Congress did it again because they went by the fact that the initial surveys and others pointed to the fact it's going to be an easy victory. And you also went by the fact that Rahul Gandhi was enjoying considerable popularity post 2024. There was a momentum. The BJP was down by so many seats. It was down to 240. So you said it doesn't matter. I'm going to take the easy way out. And the fact that you also said that last time round, even though the Hudas were given the state very late, they managed to get us to fighting position, right? And they thought right now everything else. So they gambled. They gambled on the fact that we will leave it to the Hudas and we will go ahead and lead them. But we are seeing it time and again. And the Hudas decided that they didn't want an alliance with others, even though that was the big lesson from 2024. The big lesson from 2024 was you have to fight. If you want to fight the BJP, which is right now the party to beat and is basically a behemoth right now, right? Because they have the resources, they have the cadres, they have the organization. So you ignored all the lessons that you had from 2023 because you were so convinced by the fact that the initial surveys said that you were going to be comfortable, that you ignored the signs. And I think people who watch the party, the Congress very closely, pointed out there were these problems, right? That's why people pointed out the fact that how is it that Bhupender Huda was having a majority say in all the tickets?
Yeah.
Right? Why is it that Rahul Gandhi is not interfering and making sure? Why is it that Kumari Selja, who this time, by the way, for some, she has been around for a long time, but it's just that there was a momentum. And you've also seen from your 2024 elections that the Dalit vote bank is a huge vote bank. So why would you visibly make a leader upset? She said, let's not forget, at the beginning of the campaign, Kumari Selja came on record to say, I want to fight the elections. And all you did was that from her side, only the sitting 5-6 MLAs who are her supporters, only they were given tickets. Otherwise, the majority of the tickets were Huda's tickets. And the Hudas are, the Hudas, granted that they did manage to do very well in the last Haryana elections. But the problem that everyone points out, and which we know now of elections, is it becomes a question of arithmetic, right? That if you have the Jat vote is 27%. So the BJP, their target is to get the non-27% ones. So they get the upper caste. They're also trying for the size of the Dalit vote bank. And let's not forget the fact that because the BJP saw these kind of rift within the Congress party, they had at least 3 or 4 press conferences. They kept doing press conferences talking about how Congress is insulting the Dalits. And so that way, they managed to get a huge chunk of the 20% Dalit vote bank as well. So all of this put together, right? All of this put together obviously seems to have paid off for the BJP. So they worked with the party cadres, which they have. They got people down together. They didn't take it for granted. They gave tickets to all these people. They changed the chief minister over there because obviously there was a lot of, they said, and this is one trick that has worked for them. Wherever they've had a long government, and they feel there is anti-incumbency, they go in there and put in a fresh face. And Naib Singh Saini is an OBC face as well. So your entire, your entire messaging for the voters becomes a stronger message than the Congress party, which is sitting back and letting things roll, which obviously wasn't enough. I mean, they do have a higher vote share, but it wasn't enough. You need to do more.
Of course. Khemchand Sharma of the Bharatiya Janata Party continues to be with us. Thank you, sir, for being as patient. Of course, the numbers as we are looking at it right now on the Election Commission's website says the BJP stands at 49, 49, comfortable past the halfway mark in Haryana at the moment, which is 46. Congress at 35 at the moment. Do you believe that because, as Sumitra was pointing out, it appeared that the Congress was may have been pandering to a certain caste community, the BJP was able to consolidate the others in order to build their support base in Haryana, which worked in its favor?
देखिए, दो चीजें हैं। एक कई बहुत सारी बातें की जा रही हैं। एक चीज जो मैं मानता हूं कि हमारे पास जो नेता और नीति और नियत, ये चीज हमारे फेवर में काम की है। हमारे नेता आदरणीय प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी, हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर सैनी जी और जो पूर्व चीफ मिनिस्टर एमएल खट्टर साहब ने जिस तरीके से काम किया था, वो सभी को लोगों ने देखा। दूसरा, हमारी नीति स्पष्ट है कि वी वांट टू गिव द गुड गवर्नेंस, वी डोंट वांट टू टेक अ मनी, वी वांट टू गिव द क्रेडिट एंड द जॉब टू द और ऑन द बिहाफ ऑफ मेरिट ओनली। यहाँ ना कोई कास्ट चलेगा, ना जाति चलेगी, ना कोई धर्म चलेगा, मेरिट चलेगी। वो हम लोगों ने इम्प्लीमेंट करके दिखाया। और ये लोग बोलते हैं, हम लोग करते हैं। हम लोग, इन्होंने 1000 रुपए की जो पेंशन है जो सीनियर सिटीजन को मुश्किल से दी, कुछ को दी, कुछ को नहीं दी, कुछ रीजन में दी, कुछ को नहीं दी। हम लोगों ने लगातार 3000 रुपए सीनियर सिटीजन को पेंशन दी। आदरणीय प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी ने 70 साल से ऊपर वाले जितने भी बुजुर्ग हैं उन सबको आयुष्मान भारत कार्ड देने का वादा किया है। अब उनको हेल्थ की सुविधा भी सरकार की तरफ से मिलेगी, हेल्थ की गारंटी भी सुविधा। और जो जितने भी गरीब हैं उन सबको लगातार राशन मिल रहा है। किसानों को 6000 रुपए लगातार मिल रहा है। और हमने 24 जो फसल हैं उनकी एमएसपी की गारंटी दी और एमएसपी पे हम उन 24 फसलों को खरीद रहे हैं। हम सिर्फ बोलने का काम नहीं कर रहे हैं। वहीं जो हरियाणा के लोग हैं, पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, पूरी दुनिया में जाते हैं, पूरे भारत में घूमते हैं, उन्होंने देखा कि हिमाचल में क्या हो रहा है। हिमाचल में सैलरी तक नहीं दे पा रहे हैं। वहां इन्होंने बड़े बड़े वायदे किए थे। कर्नाटक में क्या हो रहा है, कर्नाटक में जितने भी वायदे किए थे 1% भी वायदे पूरे नहीं हुए, बल्कि वहां पे उन्होंने चीजों के रेट बढ़ा दिए, ट्रांसपोर्ट के रेट बढ़ा दिए, पेट्रोलियम के रेट बढ़ा दिए, बहुत सारे नए नए टैक्सेज उन्होंने लगा दिए। तो कांग्रेस वही बड़े वायदे करती है, करती नहीं है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो कहती है वो करती है। ये चीज हमारे फेवर में गई। और दूसरी जो बात है, कांग्रेस ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट थी। कांग्रेस ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट की वजह से वो सबको इंसल्ट कर रही थी। वो अपने कार्यकर्ताओं को भी इंसल्ट कर रही थी, वोटर्स को इंसल्ट कर रही थी और आम जनता को भी इंसल्ट कर रही थी। और उसी ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस में उनकी लीडरशिप ने, इवन राहुल गांधी जो उनकी टॉप लीडरशिप है, उन्होंने कहा कि जो राम मंदिर का उद्घाटन था वो कोई रिलीजियस एक्टिविटी नहीं थी या रिलीजियस कोई सिग्निफिकेंट प्रोग्राम नहीं था, बल्कि वहां पे नाच गाने का प्रोग्राम था। हरियाणा जहां मोस्टली हिंदू रहते हैं, सनातन धर्म को मानते हैं, भगवान राम को प्रेम करते हैं, भगवान राम को पूजनीय मानते हैं, इस तरीके की बात अगर कांग्रेस की लीडरशिप करेगी तो वो क्या करेंगे? वही जम्मू कश्मीर में एनसी के साथ मिलकर ये कहते हैं कि हम 370 हटा देंगे। हरियाणा जहां पे हजारों युवाओं ने शहादत दी है जम्मू कश्मीर को भारत में बनाए रखने के लिए, देश को बचाए रखने के लिए, अगर ये कहेंगे कि 370 35 को हम हटा देंगे और ये ड्यूल राजनीति खेलेंगे तो वो राजनीति हरियाणा में सही से नहीं जाएगी। तो हरियाणा वालों ने इनको जवाब दिया है। तो ये बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं और विशेष जो फैक्टर है वो हमारी लीडरशिप है और हमारी लीडरशिप की क्रेडिबिलिटी है। और मैं आपके माध्यम से हमारे सभी वर्कर्स को, सिंपैथाइजर्स को, वोटर्स को धन्यवाद कहना चाहता हूँ, थैंक यू कहना चाहता हूँ। रिजल्ट्स क्योंकि अभी शुरू में होता ये है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के जो रिजल्ट है पॉजिटिव नॉर्मली बिगनिंग में रहते हैं। अगर हम नेगेटिव जा रहे होते हैं तो नेक्स्ट 1 to 2 आवर्स में चले जाते हैं, जैसे गांव वालों की वोट खुलती है। लेकिन अभी तो पिछले 2-3 घंटे से रिजल्ट स्टेबलाइज हैं, तो आई डोंट थिंक सो इट इज गोना चेंज। भारतीय जनता पार्टी स्पष्ट रूप से, स्पष्ट बहुमत से, विद फुल मेजोरिटी वी आर गोइंग टू फॉर्म द गवर्नमेंट इन हरियाणा विद द ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ द पीपल, विद द ब्लेसिंग्स ऑफ द वोटर्स। सो आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक ऑल ऑफ देम।
खिमचंद जी, शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स पे आपने अपना कीमती समय दिया।
Thank you.
And of course, the numbers are holding for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The number just changed on the Election Commission website as well. BJP at 50 now, and Indian National Congress at 34, NLD 1, BSP 1, and Independence 4. Let's just quickly take you through the Jammu and Kashmir numbers as well, because obviously over there it's not been as much of a cliffhanger as we've seen in Haryana. We expected that to be the story of the day, but here it is. As far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, this is on the Election Commission website, viewers. So the National Conference currently at 43, Congress 9. So that is the alliance at the moment, which stands at 43 plus 9. BJP at 26, and PDP at 2, and JPC, the People's Conference, at 2, and Independence at 7 at the moment in Jammu and Kashmir. So, as far as National Conference and Congress are concerned, they at the moment, of course, look all set to form a government over there. Possibly may need some help. We're not very sure. Sunitra, what do you make of the numbers in Jammu and Kashmir?
I think, as you said, never underestimate the voter. And you're bang on right. We were all told that Jammu and Kashmir is where we see a murky thing because, there are so many independents there. You have the Jamaat fighting there. You have Engineer Rashid coming in and completely changing things over there. And Jammu and Kashmir gives a very clear because the alliance, JK and INC have gone ahead and crossed the halfway mark. So they look like they're going to form a government over there. And it's worked out. And I think the trend has been clear right from the morning. So, as a journalist, having covered so many elections for the last 25 years, I think if there's one thing, I haven't learned how to predict elections, okay? I just speak to the people who are inside the party.
Right now,
yeah.
in
And
the current scenario.
I just speak to people and within the party and see what they feel and what their assessments are. But the one thing that is for certain, which we can say about every election, is it will surprise you. The people do surprise you. The voters do surprise you. And I think that's what you're seeing in Haryana, and that's what you saw in Jammu and Kashmir as well. What was interesting also that, the BJP really tried over there. They got in, for example, in a very rare move, Ram Madhav, who had gone back to the RSS, was brought in the end, and he put in over there as well. But I think it was very clear that the PDP was also, kind of had the whole baggage of its alliance 10 years ago with the BJP. But despite the fact that Engineer Rashid came in, I think what has become very clear right now is that Engineer Rashid's influence is on that limited area. It didn't have that, overall state. And now we just have to wait and see whether it is Omar Abdullah who's set to become the chief minister again of Jammu and Kashmir. And we also wait and see whether they deliver one of the key promises that the Congress and the National Conference have had, is to revive the statehood, which is something that the BJP has also been saying. And what has been clear is that the people spoke up against the fact that they've been led by bureaucrats, that they've not had elections for so long. The kind of angst that people have felt about 370, the BJP 370 became the kind of central theme of this entire election. So in that way, it's a clear messaging from the people about what's happening there. And let's not forget that, while all this is happening, you have someone like, Wong Chuk, the climate activist, also here in Delhi, carrying out this protest. So it's a very clear messaging from Jammu and Kashmir, and perhaps it's a sobering one for the ruling party as well, as they win and celebrate their third term, which looks like they're going to have a third term in Haryana. It's a sobering messaging from the people of Jammu and Kashmir, because it's, in a way, a verdict on 370 and the entire move over there. So that's how we have to see it. And let's not forget that a lot of these leaders like Omar Abdullah and all, they spent so much time after 2019 under house arrest, and we've had elections after a decade. So a very clear signaling from the valley, from Jammu and Kashmir about all that's happened, because we've seen so much angst and so much opposition from the opposition parties talking about the delimitation that happened and the kind of seats being added to allegations of gerrymandering that was happening, seats being added to the Jammu region. So after all of that, if there is a clear majority and a clear verdict that's coming over there, it's an interesting signaling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, going back across to Haryana, because that seems to have become the biggest story of the day, Ramesh Vinayak is joining us from Chandigarh as well. Ramesh, is the Congress still expressing hope that this won't be the final story?
Well, I think that BJP is, all set for its third consecutive term, because right now it is ahead in 50 seats. I can see from the latest trend, and the Congress is far behind at 33. So Congress has a lot to, catch up on in case it would, if it'd like to narrow down the lead. But from all indications, it appeared that BJP is going to cross that magic figure at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah, it does, because at the moment the numbers on the Election Commission website say the BJP stands at 49, past the halfway mark of 46, Congress at 35, INLD 1, BSP 1, and Independence 4 at the moment. Ashish, are you picking up anything from the ground as to what changed the tide in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the vote share, which basically may have sprung a surprise on the Congress in Haryana?
Thanks, Paulimi. So before answering your question, let me tell one thing what Sunitra has been telling. The beauty of Indian democracy or beauty of Indian electorates. Like in the last 1 year, think about the Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, think about the national election, and think about this Haryana election. J&K is on expected line. We all knew that there is a different region and different outcomes. However, the NC Congress was ahead. In terms of Jammu, Haryana, we have been telling in the morning, and we have discussed lots of things. So it was just the things that the question was only that will the BJP be able to pull additional non-Jat votes from apart from 35% what they have. So, and the answer is yes at this moment.
Yeah.
As I said in, I have been telling in the since the morning that I'm not. I mean, because I have not done the quantitative survey, so I can't predict the number in terms of seats. But based on our field work and other things, it was clearly that is the contest between BJP and Congress. Whoever says due to independence and third party, people lost, Congress lost. This is, I mean, I don't believe that kind of analysis, because in the democracy and electoral democracy, everyone has right to contest, whether party A, B, C, D, and independent. So if you want to win, you will have to defeat not one party to all party, all the candidates. So at this moment, Congress has an upper edge in terms of vote, but they are still behind a far number of seats. I mean, they still need 10, 11 seats if they want to come to the power after 10 years. And one thing, it's as one of the panelists said, I forget it. If BJP, if this trends hold and BJP get the power, it's a very historical in terms of three things. One, of course, the BJP has been gaining the power third time, which never in this era in last 30, 40 years, nobody has been able to get the third term or continue the power in the third term in Haryana. And the second thing, BJP, whatever people say, it's a Hindu. I mean, I haven't seen any people at this is Haryana Assembly election who said that's their vote. They are voting for the BJP just only because of Hindutva. I mean, there are some persons say Hindu party hai, but they are the original anger is against the Jat. So while the BJP Congress was continuing getting support and continuing trying to mobilize the Jats and continue trying to pressurize the other community, but at least they have been failed to catch up the additional vote share from the lower OBC and SC, which is the on a long run, it's a loss of Congress, because Congress used to say we are Garibo ki party hai, but the Garibs are the lower caste, lower I mean the lower OBC, lower SC. If they have not been pulling their support, that means they are failed to convey the message that the party is for the poor. Whether the electoral outcome of the Haryana might change here and there, but it is very clear that even though just take the just take a risk of saying that Congress might be able to get the majority mark, but even in that scenario, it can't be a big victory as it was expected. And the winner, as in 24 election, we all say that Actually, it was the loss of BJP and NDA. Here, even though Congress get 40 seats or more than 40 or more than 45 seats, but it will not be their victory. It will be the victory for the BJP to hold their base, whatever scenario. And I'm not discussing more because we have already discussed the same thing. I don't want to repeat this thing. But a longer run, the battle between Congress and BJP, especially in Hindi belt, we have been saying that Congress needs to work little more harder than what they have been thinking. Thanks.
Absolutely. It will be doing that introspection surely after today's results. They are, of course, dismissing these trends, making accusations already that the Election Commission seems to be uploading the data of trends and wins very slowly on the Election Commission website. But as Sunitra was pointing out earlier, you can't have double standards if you're going to accept the results of the Election Commission as is being conveyed for Jammu and Kashmir. Then you'll have to accept the results as is being conveyed by the Election Commission of India for the state of Haryana as well. So there's a lot of introspection that the party will have to do. Did it throw away an election which was served to them on a platter by the Bharatiya Janata Party? That's going to be the big question. As far as numbers go, just to brush up on the numbers at the moment, Ramesh Vinayak continues to be with us. He's back with us. The numbers for the BJP at 49 right now, the Congress at 35, INLD 1, BSP 1, Independence 4. Ramesh, earlier, some of our experts have spoken about the RSS factor in these elections. Very obviously in Jammu and Kashmir, because we saw Ram Madhav being brought out of a political hiatus of sorts after he was dumped by the Bharatiya Janata Party, sent back to his parent organization of RSS in 2020, brought back in 2024 and given charge of the very same state that he last commanded, which was Jammu and Kashmir, as their election in charge. Very obvious, the RSS, the footprint as far as J&K is concerned. But they seem to have played a background role in Haryana as well, is what certain experts are alluding to. At a time when, during the national elections, we heard some kind of whispers about the fact that, the BJP and the RSS are not on the same page. There was a controversial statement which was made by JP Nadda as to how the Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't need the RSS anymore. RSS is only an ideological mentor as such. To now, the RSS back in the seat where it needs to be, where it has worked on the ground in Haryana. Is that the sense you got as well?
Across the state was that RSS is far more active in Haryana vis-a-vis Lok Sabha election, in this year. So RSS was pretty, proactive, and they were, not only mobilizing, the workers, but also they were messengers for parties, main poll plank. Mind you, BJP, kept its campaign on its positives. One, of course, was that, it was a pro-development government which did not discriminate, and it took, whole raft of, welfare steps in last 10 years. And most importantly, their slogan was "Na kharchi, na parchi," which alluded to the fact that, this government provided jobs without any recruitment scandal. And this I can vouch for, having covered Haryana for last 35 years. Previous governments, non-BJP governments, were often in controversy for recruitment scandal. They were like, whole lot of questions over the way recruitments were happening in Haryana Public Service Commission or Staff Selection Board. But, in last 10 years, we have seen clean recruitments without any scandal. And I give a lot of credit to Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar when he was Chief Minister. He's the one who cleaned up, this recruitment process and brought in, people with high integrity at the helm of, these selection boards. And, they were able to build this narrative that, now the government jobs are on merit. this is something which kind of resonated across all communities, whether it's Jats, non-Jats, Dalits, OBCs. So I guess, RSS this time amplified BJP's positive agenda at the grassroots level. And they also, mobilize, the workers, when it comes to booth management. BJP is, exceptionally kind of robust, and they are known for, that last mile management of election. So I think RSS played a pretty proactive role in BJP's, this likely third term victory in the Jatland.
Right. Ramesh, because you make that point about the past 10 years and you credited Manohar Lal Khattar with it about the clean recruitment process, no corruption, etc. Earlier, one of the experts we were speaking with alluded to the fact that, maybe some of the voters uh, may have seen Bhupinder Huda's face. I mean, even though it was not projected as the chief ministerial face, but he was the Congress's face, if you may, perception-wise, as far as this election was concerned, that he is the main face as far as the Haryana campaign is concerned. They must have seen his face and thought of the 10 years of the Huda rule, which was replete with corruption and such scams, etc. I thought, this is not what we want, back in Haryana. Uh, we prefer the situation, the cleanup which has happened over the past 10 years. Do you think that the Huda factor, in a way, also, was something that certain voters, certain section of voters did not quite agree with, appreciate, and hence they may have voted against the Congress?
I would tend to agree with that, because at the end of the day, politics is all about perception. And this BJP government in 10 years was able to cultivate a perception that, they may have slipped on law and order, they may have, not been able to deal with the farmers issue, or wrestlers issue, but on issue of clean governance, they definitely had an edge, and on that relative index of credibility, I would say that, BJP chief minister, whether it's first Manohar Lal Khattar, then Naib Singh Saini, they were definitely seen to be better off vis-a-vis, I would say Mr. Bhupinder Singh Huda, who, who is facing, the CBI cases. There is enforcement directorate case against him. Now, to be sure, the cases haven't reached any conclusion. He hasn't been kind of convicted. But, as I said, that politics, in politics, perception matters a lot. So that may have been one of the, factors which, swung the election in favor of the BJP.
What does this mean? If this means an election loss for the Congress party in these elections, what does this mean for the future of Bhupinder Huda?
Well, I would say this is kind of possibly end of the road for Mr. Bhupinder Singh Huda. He's already plus 70, and this is the third election the party has lost in Haryana. So the party will have to really introspect and look beyond Mr. Bhupinder Singh Huda. So maybe bring about a leadership change. And so I guess this is a serious setback for Mr. Bhupinder Singh Huda, who had, mind you, got two elections for the Congress in Haryana. He won in 2004, then 2009, two consecutive elections. Congress had won in Haryana on his watch. But now the wheel of fortune has turned, and so Congress has lost third election when Mr. Huda is at the helm. So I guess his political career may have reached dead end in Haryana, especially with regard to the state politics.
No, do you think not letting Kumari Shailja, as she had herself expressed a desire to contest the Haryana Assembly elections, not letting her contest a prominent woman, Dalit face, was a mistake by the Congress?
I won't say that, because Mr. Huda, all said and done, was the best bet for the party for two reasons. One, he is a he's a pan Haryana leader. He all said and done is the tallest leader of the Congress, and plus he is very close to the Gandhis. We call him the ultimate loyalist, and so the party betted on Mr. Huda, and he does have support base which goes beyond the Jat community which he belongs to. So I guess in the current situation he was the best bet. I don't think that Kumari Selja would have changed the complexion of this election uh, very much.
Okay. And what about the future of so many, dynasties who have entered the electoral fray with this election, be it Bhavi Bishnoi, be it Aditya Surjewala, Bhavi Bishnoi, as far as the Election Commission website is concerned, continues to lead from the Adhampur seat as we speak. And then there is, of course, Aditya Surjewala as well. There are the Chotalas from both sides, NLD, JJP as well. What about their future? Do you think that Haryana politics is set to now see a proper generational shift? We've seen them enter the fray, but more of that in the coming years.
You see, Haryana is known for those three Lals, Chaudhry Devi Lal, Chaudhry Bansi Lal, and Chaudhry Bhajan Lal. So now the third generation of all three Lals was contesting this election, but this results haven't really gone in their favor. Whether Bansi Lal's grandchildren were in the fray, but I don't think they have done too well in the election. Devi Lal's clan has has been more or less decimated, and I am not up to speed with regard to grandson of Mr. Bhajan Lal, son of Kuldeep Bishnoi, how he's doing from Adhampur. So this election, is not good for those time-old ruling political families of Haryana. So the state seems to have moved beyond that, and now we have a new crop of politicians who are kind of emerging or who have emerged. So so overall, I don't think dynasties would be doing too well in this election.
Okay. And, just before we wrap up this edition of our broadcast, Ramesh, just to take our viewers first, of course, through the numbers. The numbers stand at 48 for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Again, these are leads. There are rounds of counting that are still to go in each of those constituencies. Wins haven't been declared. So these are just leads on the Election Commission website. 48 for the Bharatiya Janata Party, 36 for the Congress Party, 1 for the INLD, 1 for the BSP, and 4 for independents. So independents also performing very, very well. So as far as the headline tomorrow is concerned, Ramesh, if I were asked to ask you to stick your neck out and give us a headline for tomorrow's papers as far as Haryana elections is concerned, what would you say?
I will say BJP springs a surprise and gets third term. That's a big story. As of now, BJP
And
is
what is it
defying
that
all
the BJP
predictions.
got right? If I were to ask you that, one thing the BJP
Sorry.
got right.
Yeah, in a way, BJP got it right, and they have defied all predictions and all the odds, which were stacked against them. So it's a remarkable historic feat by BJP to win third consecutive term in Haryana, where they were a fringe player until 2014. So I think after Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, Haryana is perhaps the only state where the BJP is now so well entrenched, and it is seems to be coming to power for the third consecutive term.
Yeah, right. I mean, couldn't agree more with you. I mean, that has to be definitely one of the big takeaways, that if after Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh, the BJP has been able to entrench itself in any state, then Haryana is the story of the day. A historic feat for the Bharatiya Janata Party if those numbers hold, and most likely they will, because we're past noon right now. The BJP is all set to form a third consecutive term government in the state of Haryana. Its gambit has played off. Congress possibly caught being complacent as far as these elections are concerned. It took a few things for granted and just expected the voter to do the rest of the legwork for them. They did not exactly do much of it all by themselves. The BJP, of course, kept saying, don't write us off yet. We've changed the game and you will watch the results. Well, we're watching the results. Those poll pundits, pollsters, many in the media like ourselves, everyone's guilty of having predicted this one wrong, because Haryana has sprung a surprise. The numbers finally, viewers, before we end this broadcast, on the Election Commission website, so the most authentic website, the numbers: BJP 48, Congress 36, Independence 4, INLD 1, BSP 1. And as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, which has, of course, given a clear verdict, of course, the final numbers will be known by later today. But National Conference at 43, BJP 28, Congress at 8. So the National Conference Congress Alliance all set to form government, Independence at 6, and PDP at 2. So these are what the leads are at the moment at 12:30 in the afternoon. Of course, in a couple of hours, by about 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you'll know what the wins are and where each party stands in Haryana and in Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you so much for logging in with us here at Hindustan Times and Mint all of this morning, as we brought you all the trends and the results as they've been trickling in. Our experts giving you their incisive analysis as well. Stay logged on to the Hindustan Times website, because we keep updating those details. You can even track the wins and the losses of each constituency if you go to our constituency tracker on the Hindustan Times website. Thank you so much for watching. This is me signing off. Thank you.